Hey, what's going on? My name is Steph from stephjking.com and I'm coming to you from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. And today we are going to talk about how to organize your life for success. Welcome back. Today we are talking about setting yourself up for success through organization skills. Now, I love being organized. It's actually really funny because a little while ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, and I can't remember exactly what it was about, but I think it was like I asked a few people, what's the one word that they think of when they think of me? And a few people, definitely two that I can recall, came back and said, organized. And at the time I was like, I don't know if I should be offended by that, but now I'm just like totally owning it. But I don't know about you, but for some reason with me, whilst I like being organized, I can also be a bit of a procrastinator, and I feel that I've always got stuff going on and so much to do that I feel an element of like overwhelm, which is why I ended up being so organized and loving having sort of structure and processes in my life. So I wanted to share with you a few tips on what you can do to help you become that little bit more organized so you can set yourself up for success as well. So number one is getting yourself a calendar. Now, whether you like to write things down physically, then you might want to get yourself a planner or a calendar book. I prefer to have something available to me online, so I use Google Calendar, and then that way it syncs up with my computer, my laptop, my phone, and it's just easy for me to make changes, add new things in wherever I am. So in Google Calendar, you can actually set it up two different ways. You can have just one view and you just color code what you want to block out in your calendar. So for example, you might have personal development in purple, you might have your workouts in green, you might have your study time in blue, and then that way you've got one view and you can look at everything that you've got on for either that day or that week, whatever you want to set your view up to, and then you can see based on the colors what you're doing at what time. The second option is that you can create a different calendar view for each of those things and also color code it. So again, I could have like Steph appointments and color that green, and then I could have workouts and that's blue, and then I could have study time or get stuff done time. I could have work and have those different colors, and then what you can do is on the left hand side you can tick one, so you can just see all your appointments, or you might want to look at your appointments, your work day, and your workouts. So you tick those three and those three come up on the same view as well, kind of like an overlay. So that's purely up to your choice. At the moment, I just prefer just to keep it in one view. That just works for me, but you might want to be able to look at purely your appointments, and then you might want to look at just everything by ticking the boxes on the left hand side. Number two is to get an organization tool. Now, I use Trello and I am obsessed with it at the moment. I actually use it to plan for my videos. So I'll sit there and I will brainstorm all the videos that I want to make, and I'll list them out, and then I'll dive deeper into what is the actual content I want to share for that particular video. And I have it all organized out, so I've got my ideas on one sort of section of Trello, and then when it's good to go, I move it across to say videos ready for publishing. And you can use Trello for absolutely anything. You can use it for to-do lists. You might have like a project that you're working on, and you might want to list out things that like your ideas. You could have like a card for your ideas, then you could have another card to say not started, another one that says in progress, and another one that says completed, and you simply move them across as you need to. It's absolutely amazing. Again, you can sync it across all your devices. You can jump onto your computer, use it on a web browser. You can also download the app, and it's so simple to use, so easy. So I highly recommend using Trello. I have to-do lists on there. I have a couple of sort of like recipes for home cleaning products that I save on there just to keep it centralized. And I know most of the stuff that I need that I normally would refer to is in Trello. So I used to use notes on my phone, but I just found it was too hard to find what it was that I was looking for. And Trello, you've got the ability to set up a board. And then when you open that board, you've got your different sections in there that you can play around with. So you can have a board for your to-do list. And on the left-hand side, you could have just all your things that you need to get done. And then you could have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you also want to have some tasks to be done on those days. You just simply move those things across to the day that you want to be able to action those items that you've got on your to-do list. So then that way you've got a daily to-do list as well. Number 3 is have a morning routine. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, you want to feel like you're not all up in your head and you just don't know what you're doing. So having a really good routine that you know that when you wake up, the first thing you do is make your bed. Then you sit down and you do 5 minutes of meditation. Then you go and journal for half an hour. Then you get dressed, you shower, you shower, then get dressed. Then you have breakfast. Have a nice routine so you can wake up and just immediately go into your flow instead of having to think what it is that you need to do. A good example of this is Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. If you noticed with them is that they mostly wore the same clothes, jeans and a white top. Number 4 is journaling, and I mentioned this in the previous point as well. Journaling is a really good way to start your day by getting everything that's in your mind out on paper. And then what you'll find is you'll actually notice that a lot of the things that you were kind of overwhelming yourself with or thinking about that was just taking up way too much brain power is that once you get them out on paper and you've written them down, half the time is you're allowing yourself to remove that thought and get it on paper for you to deal with at a later time. And then sometimes as you're journaling, you'll actually find that you will resolve that problem or that challenge by just simply asking yourself that question. So for example, in my journaling, if I'm stuck on a particular thing that is taking up all my mind space, I will write down, what do I need to do about this? Or why am I feeling this way? Or why am I struggling with whatever the challenge is? And then what that does is that actually allows your brain to start thinking into solution mode, and your brain will actually start thinking of things to help you with that problem. So when you're journaling and you're just not going to stop writing, so sometimes it feels a little bit funny that you do want to stop and think about it, but the best thing for you to do is not stop, is to just keep writing, because you will actually solve the issues that you're currently trying to deal with, that at the moment you're keeping up in your head and it's taking up so much space that you'll find that you'll start to deal with challenges a lot better, and your ideas and your thoughts are going to be a lot clearer and more focused because you've removed all that muddle from your mind and you've put it on paper. All right, number 5 is probably one of my personal favorites, just because I know by doing this it really, really helped my life a lot, and that is through meditation. If you can set up some time in your day, whether it's first thing in the morning in your morning routine or in the evening before you go to bed, I really highly suggest that you do at least 5 minutes. I like to do 10 to 20 to 30, depending on how I'm feeling and how much time I've got. I like to sort of sit down, put on my Calm app and just meditate. And then what that does is that also, I guess, stops the overwhelm in your mind and brings you back to current state and makes you appreciate and more calmer and more focused on what it is that you enjoy doing and the important things in your life as well. So it's going to stop you from reflecting on the past so much, and it's going to stop you from worrying about the future. It's about bringing you presently back to the moment in time, which I find really good for people that suffer with like depression, anxiety, or also people that have issues with sleeping, because you're essentially getting rid of all the gunk that you're thinking of constantly, which your journaling in the morning will help, and then adding meditation into the mix, you will just see an amazing change in your life. Number 6 is declutter your home, your surroundings. Wherever you spend most of your time is the best place to start. I don't know about you, but if I have mess in my house, I'm constantly thinking about it, or it's always in the back of my mind. I could be sitting down focused on something, but I know in the back of my mind that my kitchen is an absolute mess and I'm gonna have to go get up and clean it. So the best thing for you to do is to remove anything from your home that you no longer need or you no longer use. And depending on who you are, this might take you some time to be able to do it, but I know I feel a lot more better, accomplished, and clearer in my mind when my house is nice and tidy and there is no clutter surrounding me. And what I find really helps with this is, if you can, try to limit the amount of like hidey hole spaces in your home. So drawers, cupboards, all that kind of thing, because then what you do is you actually will hide stuff away so you can't see it, but you're just creating your future self problems. So I know future Steph will not like opening a drawer and finding all this stuff in there. So I find having a place for everything and keeping that item in that place, and then that way, you know, if something comes into your home, you need to either give it a place or you need to get rid of it. And that leads me into my 7th point, which is one touch rule. So if you bring mail into your home, you want to deal with it straight away. So instead of bringing it in and chucking it on your kitchen bench, which I'm a bit of a culprit of doing sometimes, I like to action it straight away. So I open it, I figure out what it is that I need to do with it. Do I need to pay the bill? Do I need to scan it and put it into my cloud? What is it that I need to do with it, and action it right there and then. Same thing with other items. If you come in and you throw your jacket on the couch, you know it has a space, so go and put it away. And that leads me into my next point for you, which is have a space for everything and put it away once you're finished using it. So using that jacket as an example, you've walked into your home, you've taken your jacket off. What are you going to do with it? You're going to go and hang it up and put it back in its place that it needs to be in. And my lucky last tip is create processes and structure around things that you normally have to do on a regular basis. So for example, with my videos that I'm recording for YouTube, I have a bit of a process that I go through that I know that I can then delegate off in the future because I've created that process and that structure to it. What you want to do is be able to do this with anything that you regularly doing, which, you know, it may require a bit of time and effort at the beginning to be able to create that process or create the structure or the documents behind it. You might have checklists, but once you have that in place, it's allowing your brain function to focus on the more important things in life, because you have those checklists or you've got a process in place for that thing. You know what it is that you need to do. So it kind of turns into just your normal day, every behavior. So habits. And then that way in the future, if you do have a process that you may not necessarily value or that inspires you, you have the ability to delegate that out. So you might want to get a virtual assistant in the future, and then you've already got the structure, the process, and the documents there that you can easily hand it over to someone else. So those are my tips for you on how to organize your life for success. I hope you got value. If you did, then please make sure you are subscribed. I do upload regularly. At the moment, it is 3 times a week. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.